afternoon because I noticed that everybody's in either Brazil. I've had the honor of hosting this session on behalf of Simone, who's taken a bit of a break. And we've nominated Gladwin. I think most of you have spoken to him already. Gladwin and I go way back from 2010, the Soccer World Cup, when we worked together looking after the Cape Town Stadium. It was absolute chaos. Gladwin comes with a lot of experience in many areas, but I'm going to let him introduce himself to you and tell him about himself, and you can go ahead with the questions.
Hi, thank you, Richard. Truly appreciate it. Good evening, guys. My name is Gladwin. My surname is Zuma. I have no relations to President Jacob Zuma. We just happen to share the same surname. I am actually from the same province as Jacob Zuma. I am born in KwaZulu-Natal, which is popularly known with a city called Durban. I then moved from Durban to Cape Town to begin with my studies. So I started my studies in Cape Town from primary up until university time. So let me welcome you to South Africa, a story of spirit, struggle, and soul. So from where I am from, in KZN, there is a popular township which is extremely dangerous. More than the favelas if you were to go to Brazil. It's extremely dangerous. It's actually named after an ANC leader called Marshall Campbell. So they then just called it Guamasho. But it's very vibrant, very resilient, and rich in culture. So now, the Zulu people, which in terms of the ethnic, I'm a Zulu person. You've got, in South Africa, you've got ethnics. You've got your Xhosas, you've got your Zulus, you've got your Sothos, you've got your Tswana. It's actually across 11 languages. So your ethnic is identified by your language. So if you are a Zulu person, you will be a Zulu speaking person. Now, we are known for a number of things as Zulus. Firstly, it's caring. We care. We don't care whether we know or we don't know you. Whether you are foreign or whether you are from us, it's one and the same. We genuinely care. So in terms of our entertainment, we play a kind of music which is called Istatamiya. This music was made popular by a group called Lady Smith Black Mambazo. They performed with Paul Simon. They performed with Dolly Parton and a number of international artists promoting the Zulu music across the global spectrum. Of course, we are very passionate about rugby. We're passionate about gospel music as well. So I will then touch base. You will, if you do have questions, you will ask me. I will then touch base from where I moved from an early age to a city called Cape Town. I'll give you a brief. One of the most beautiful cities in the whole world, famous for the following: a Table Mountain. It's similar to the Sugarloaf Mountain in Brazil. You know, you've got the cage, you go up, you've got the restaurants up there, you can entertain yourself. Then you've got Robben Island. Robben Island is where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years. And then after being released from prison, obviously we all know that he became the state president. You also have a Bokap area. It's a very beautiful, area which colorful houses. I'm not sure if Adelniso can actually give an illustration in terms of visual and images of the following. If you can just show, let's start with the table mountain.
I'm gonna share here. Let's start with the city of Cape Town.
Yeah, the city of Cape Town, and the area is called Bok, so it's BOK.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a great introduction. I'm also going to leave it the door open to the rest of the crowd after while we show some of these images to actually ask you a bit about yourself and your life.
You're welcome, Richard.
I'm having problem with my connection. Richard, are you using your cell phone? So can you share the screen, or Renato, are you using?
Let me just have a look.
I can try.
Okay, just make you the co-host Renato first, I think. Let me see.
To the Google Maps. Google Maps.
I think you can share without being the host, I think.
I'll try.
Yeah,
Just a
okay.
minute, please.
I'm trying to open a new tab, but it is not working. I think it's a problem with the connection. Maybe if I try to turn off my camera.
Kevin, could you repeat the name of the place where you are talking about?
It's the Table Mountain. Let's start with the Table Mountain.
Table, but what's the city? What's the region?
It's Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Cape Town. Cape Town. Just a minute. Cape Town. Cape Town. Cape Town, Africa. Okay. Let me see here. Let me share the video. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, come on. Let me see. I have to here.
Cape Town is the capital of South Africa. Glad.
No, the capital of South Africa is Pretoria, but the parliament, the House of Legislature, is in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So there are two capitals.
You can put it like that because the executive is in Pretoria and the House of Legislature, which is your parliament, is in Cape Town.
So we have an administrative capital, which is Pretoria. That's mainly, and then there we actually got two capitals, to be very honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to move the
in the South African educational system now, they teach us that there's three capitals. Because I did my first year of high school in South Africa before I came to Portugal, and they teach us that there's three capitals, which is Bloemfontein, Pretoria, and Cape Town.
Factually stated, it's actually Pretoria and Cape Town. Yes, there is a significant part of history where Bloemfontein is concerned. I'm not really sure what's actually happening there, but I do know that Bloem is there. But significantly, it's Pretoria and Cape Town because the legislature is in Cape Town, which is your parliament, and then your executive is in Pretoria.
Yeah. I also thought that it was quite stupid that Bloemfontein was there, but they teach us that there's three.
No, it's a it's a bit of a misinformation. Factually speaking, we can actually say two.
Johannesburg never went the South Africa capital? Never, Johannesburg?
Nah, Johannesburg is predominantly the economic hub of South Africa, but not necessarily a capital city, but it's the main economical hub of South Africa. Your mining activities are there, and most of your mineral resources are there. So basically, it's just an economic hub. So you will basically see then from this map that this is, you've got Cape Town, which is here. But I wanted to ask you if you can type Bokap. It's B-O-K-A-A-P.
Just a minute. O-A?
B-O?
B-O. B-O.
Yeah. And then you move space.
B-O-A.
No. It's B, then space. B-O. And then say K.
K.
Double A.
A. Oh, come on. I don't know what's happening with my...
Let me write it for you here in the group.
B-O-B. Could you repeat, please, again? B.
I wrote it in the... Just check the message on the group.
Okay, let me see. Because my computer is a little bit confused too.
Yes.
Let me see here. Just a minute.
Can I try to share now? I think my internet is back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think that's bad because I don't know what's happening with my...
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me try here.
It's better.
Okay, this is the city of Cape Town, all right?
Absolutely. This is now the city of Cape Town, where you see
this is the Table Mountain. Table Mountain. Okay, let me type here.
Yes, let's take it one way.
Oh,
now,
beautiful.
Absolutely. This is the most magnificent Table Mountain. It's actually visited right through the year. It uses cables to go up and down, and you've got restaurant up there. Absolutely beautiful. Uses cables to go up and down. You just enjoy yourself.
Like Sugarloaf. Like Sugarloaf, Brazil.
Like Sugarloaf Mountain. Exactly.
Yeah. Gladwin, this is the stadium that you and Richard worked together?
Yes, this is the stadium where we met, myself and Richard. This is the
What is the name? What is the name of the stadium?
Cape Town Stadium.
I think Aura's got a question for you, Gladwin.
Okay. You can shoot, sir. Sorry, thanks, Richard, because I cannot see the hands. Oh, you can shoot, Aura.
Good. Hi, Aura. Have you got a question for Gladwin?
Yeah, my question was just like, you seem very infatuated with Cape Town. Have you ever moved anywhere else, or do you plan on moving somewhere else?
No, I've just been between these two cities where I've stayed between Durban and Cape Town. I would visit all the other cities around South Africa, like your Pretoria, your Bloemfontein, your Eastern Cape, Limpopo, but I wouldn't stay more than 10 days there.
Or has vanished. Oh, there we go.
This is the parliament.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. My person asked me a question and I had to go and show him because I didn't. Okay, can you tell me what you said again? I'm so sorry.
Well, I've only resided between these two cities, Durban and Cape Town, but I've traveled across the entire country. But I wouldn't spend more than 10 days. At most, I would spend 10 days in each province that I'm visiting, like your Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Free State. But further than that, it's only Cape Town and KZN. But Cape Town is my home more than the land of my forefathers.
Have you ever left the country? Like
Yes,
South
I've left
Africa?
the country. I've visited Kenya. I've visited Brazil. I've been to Namibia. I've been to a number of countries in Africa, but I've left the country.
Simon, Gladwin, do you share with the group your studies, what you actually studied and what pursued you to study that?
Oh yes, I've got a master's degree in labor law. I'm very, very passionate about the interest of the workers, the rights of the workers. That's what actually pushed me towards that field of study.
Okay, I see Liaz has got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because you mentioned you visited Brazil, so where did you go? Did you go to Rio, São Paulo, and what did you think of Brazil?
I stayed at Copacabana. There is a hotel there, I think it's Hilton or something. I stayed there, I think, for about 3 to 4 weeks. But they only just told me that I must not visit the favelas. It's a bit risky for me. And then I used the cabs. I was expecting a lot of Portuguese food, which I could not find. That's what I don't understand. I was expecting a lot of Portuguese food, but I couldn't find it. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the food. And what is this guarana? Is there something called guarana? I think it's called guarana. It's a drink.
Yes, the drink, the guaraná.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Then,
This is
of course, then
the hotel that you stayed in. This is hotel here, Hilton. This is this one.
Yes, yes, that's it. You're right. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Next to the
You are
beach.
a wealthy guy, man.
In front of
Congratulations.
the beach, great, yeah.
Congratulations. Look,
Nah,
look
not
at the
really.
view.
Thank you. Yeah, that's your sugar loaf.
This is the room, your room.
Yeah.
Just for the Brazilians, that for a South African, economically, Brazil is one of the countries that's affordable for a South African to visit.
That's correct. In terms of the currency, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, so it's one of the few places us as South Africans can still visit and have decent value for our currency. And I'd say one of the very few.
What is the South Africa currency and how much it costs compared to $1, for example?
Well, $1 now is currently trading at about $1 is currently trading $1 is currently trading at 17 rand, 17 or 18 rand.
What is the name? Rent? It's R-E-N-T?
R-A-N-D, rand.
Rand. Let me share here. Let me share here some bills, rand bills.
But if Brazil is affordable, like the rest of Latin America is as well, right? Probably you guys can visit. Yeah. Have you
absolutely.
visited?
Yes, it is. Argentina is another one. It's also good for us too. So it's mainly Latin America. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in due course, we'll definitely visit Brazil again. I mean, the land of the great Pele, the greatest football player ever.
And you have been only to Rio or to other states?
I think Rio, I didn't spend that. I think Rio, the flight just took us there, and then we just connected. We were just connecting.
Are you guys fan of soccer game like we Brazilian are? Like why when there was the World Cup in 2010, how was the passion of the South African people for soccer? Always had or before 2010? Do you think that after World Cup the people will start getting more interested in soccer?
Absolutely similar to Brazil. There's always been a great interest of soccer in South Africa. However, the hype was around 2010, because before then there's never been a World Cup in Africa. So it was for the first time that there's a World Cup. So that was the hype that created everything.
And is the South African team any good? I don't know. I don't follow football.
Well, it's Bafana. Look, I'll be honest with you, they're not good. But recently they've shown quite, a decent amount of football. They've won a couple of matches here and there. So, but if you were to put them in a nah, they're not good. Not as compared to our rugby boys.
We've even had a few Brazilian coaches to try and coach the national team. Yeah.
Yeah, Dunga was one of them. Dunga.
Yes, they had a lot of money, but there wasn't much improvement. So,
Yes, you're right. He actually came, and when he left, he recommended somebody to take over from him, his body, but nothing really materialized.
Renato got a question.
Now I have a curiosity because South Africa has three capitals. Yeah, maybe for political purpose. I saw that there is a population of 65 million people living in the country, and then you have 7 provinces or 7 states. I don't know exactly how you call it. Yeah, could you explain that, because it's a curiosity that I have. For example, here you have the Brazilian, the federal capital of the country. Yeah, and you say that you're reading that South Africa has 3 capitals. How does it work?
All right, let's start with the provinces. South Africa has got about 9 provinces, and then 11 official languages. It has now been added to 12, including the sign language. It has been made official. It is now the 12th official language in South Africa. So you've got 9 provinces, and then you've got your Cape Town, which is not really the capital city. The capital city is Pretoria. But because the House of Legislature is in Cape Town, it is then, on those technicalities, considered to be the second capital city, but it is not up to 3.
Okay, yeah.
Gladwin,
And
you had
then-
an interesting. Sorry, just before you go on. You're still busy answering that question. Yeah, there was another one on where the name Bafana originated from, and what does
I
it
was
mean?
just about to respond to that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, Bafana is a Zulu word that means young fellows. It's young fellows or young boys. So you would then say Bafana, just to give it flair. Instead of just saying Bafana, you say Bafana. It is just to give it flair, but it means young fellows. So the name is actually not owned by SAFA, which is your South African Football Association. There is a gentleman in South Africa who went to register that name. And the South African Football Association must pay that guy royalties every month for using the name Bafana because they failed to register the name. So the guy just capitalized on that.
Okay, yeah. And and I'm curious about something that you said. You said that you have 11 languages spoken in the country. Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah. So I believe that in a situation like that, I think that English can be a kind of language that must be common for many people. Because I think that's I don't know if the language are kind of close of each other. If it's possible to understand one language and the other one. So I believe that this is it's an opportunity for speak English as a second language. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the most spoken language in South Africa is Zulu. Well, because it's a province with a huge population of density. So Zulu is the most spoken language in South Africa.
Okay.
And then followed by Xhosa, and then Afrikaans. And then the fourth one is English.
Okay.
English is the fourth most spoken language. But English is the common denominator in terms of languages, because if I'm Zulu and you are Sotho and the other is Xhosa, we will converse in English. So predominantly we use English as the common language.
Okay, yeah. I saw that. Yeah. So I think that these show how English becomes important and nowadays to communicate with different people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I felt that when I was in Italy, and I remember if I did speak English, I would be I should be or I would be problem. I would have problems because I think that the same situation as in South Africa. If you don't speak English, I think that you face difficulties to be understandable. Yeah.
No, you are quite right, Renato. If you do not understand English because it's the common language, it's a common denominator, it's the only way we can communicate. Because I would say Richard speaks Afrikaans and I speak Zulu, but when I converse with Richard, we then converse in English and we understand each other.
Okay, good. Yeah, interesting. Thank you.
Because the languages, they are very different. They are different dialects. You can't understand his language.
Absolutely. You can basically pick up a few, sentences. You can basically just common sentences here. But beyond that, he needs to speak English.
Yeah, just liaise before we go to Jal and then Maria and then Ora. It's an interesting question that you asked because Xhosa and Zulu are closely related. Some of the words actually have a similar meaning. in Zulu. Like in Zulu, you'll say the word koluma, which means talk. In Xhosa, they will use the word teta.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, and then and some of the greetings are also very similar, but it's a totally different dialect. Yeah, Jawa, you got a question?
Yes, yes. I would like to know, how is the labor law being applied in South Africa? Like, you know, we have companies, and as a, I don't know if attorney, are you attorney? Expert in labor law, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
So the conflict, how do you solve the conflict?
All right. So what actually happens now, lobola is a fee that is paid by the gentleman who wants to marry the woman. So what then actually happens is this: you can either pay it in rand value, or you can pay your lobola in cows. Now that is now the livestock. So predominantly in Zulu, these cows must never be less than 12. And the reason why, it is not because you are buying a wife, but it is a gesture of appreciation between the two families and the way to get to know each other. And it is for the gentleman to demonstrate that he will be able to take care of the woman, because now you are asking somebody to leave their home to be with you. So you need to demonstrate to this family that I will definitely be able to take care of your daughter. So if you want to pay in rand value, because each cow would cost about 12,000 rand. I'm not sure how much is it in US dollar. So it will be in excess of about 140,000 rand just to get your wife. And there are people that have paid in excess of that amount, depending on their wealth and status.
John, did that answer your question, or was it? Do you have another question before we move on to Maria?
Oh, I think it's okay for now, but I think he's having problem connection. Or
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Gladwin.
yes, loud and clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
Baro, are you covered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think let's move on
Great,
to Maria.
great.
Maria, you
It's
have
okay.
a question for Gladwin?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to ask about like school system, because you said that in different provinces you speak different languages. So in school, is like, are there lessons in the language that is spoken in that province, or also in English, or only that language that's spoken in that province?
All right. So you've got different provinces and different languages. Nonetheless, there will be certain languages which are taught, because everywhere you go, there is a second language that you need to learn. So it's not just your mother tongue. So if you speak English, you must also learn Afrikaans and maybe isiXhosa. So you will take those three languages. So that's what they do as well. So in the Eastern Cape, they speak isiXhosa, but they will speak English and Afrikaans. They will learn English and Afrikaans. So there is that cross relation of languages.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ora, you've got another question for Gladwin?
I also just want to say something to Maria's thing. I went to school in South Africa, and the thing is, it definitely depends on the school as well, because there were certain schools a school like 20 meters away from me was learning Afrikaans, English, and Zulu, and then my school was only offering English and Afrikaans. So even if you're in certain provinces, it also just depends on the school. And public schools actually tend to teach more languages than private schools. Private schools mainly focus on the other things like biology and science and stuff like that. So they don't really, I don't know why they do that, but yeah. And then
Absolutely, you've got it well. You've got it right.
my question was actually also on languages and the Lobola thing. Like, I know that in a lot of cultures the Lobola has died down. Like that tradition has died down. Did you have to do that? Do you still do it in your culture? And then also, like, if you have children, like, do they know Afrikaans as well? Because you said that you don't really pick up the Afrikaans. And then another thing that I wanted to say was like, it's very funny because in South Africa, I know that like not everybody speaks the same language. I know that, but a lot of the slang, especially in the younger generation, is all Afrikaans, pretty much. Like, so as much as we won't know, they won't know any Afrikaans. They'll know all the slang, which is usually Afrikaans. That was something I wanted to say to somebody else a long time ago, but I don't remember now. Anyway, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. All right. Lobola has of course died down, because of the civilization.
Yeah.
A number of people, they outgrow some of these cultures and customs. They don't, because culture, evolves, over a period of time. And then, you've got certain people that still say, you know what, I don't believe in this anymore. This is how we go. But nonetheless, in Zulu, it has remained steadfast. You do not actually get to marry a woman if you have not paid lobola for that woman. Period. It's non-negotiable. It's a lengthy process. So yeah, I will try and send a pic on the group. Now, when it comes to languages, because my kids' home language is English, obviously because of the school that they go to. So their home language is English. They do not understand Zulu. They do not speak Zulu. However, when they get to the secondary school, which is your high school, they then enroll for Zulu. But for now, it's English and Afrikaans. When they get to grade 8, they then enroll in Zulu as a third language.
Joe, before you go to your question, I just want to add on what Gladwin said there as well. When it comes to Lobola, irrespective if you're going to marry cross culture, so if I'm going to marry a Zulu girl, I'm still subjected to pay Lobola.
Yes.
It's a tradition. Does not matter whether I'm marrying a Zulu girl and I'm a so-called a man of color or mixed race, I still will have to conform to the Zulu culture. So if that makes any sense. Yeah. Joe, the floor is yours. Well, your question?
My second question is about workplace. Are all workers aware of their rights according to the law?
Well, not all workers are aware of their rights, in particular, the blue-collar workers. You must know that some of them are semi-literate or illiterate. That is how they then take an advantage. However, we try by all means in a scope of blue-collar workers to make sure that these are unionized. But with union, you've got subscription fees that you need to pay. So these people are actually on the bottom end of the scale. Sometimes they think the union is there to take their money. So they rely on just random information and they get exploited.
Yeah. Because companies normally they take advantage of this situation. So what actually you as an expert, what do you do to help those people that they don't know how to defend themselves.
Well, I consult with a number of people. I've represented a number of people, successfully so, where their rights were actually abused. And, you know, because in South Africa, you have what we call Basic Conditions of Employment Act. So
Yeah.
these speak predominantly to the blue-collar workers. And there are then certain rights which are due to these people, which are not communicated by the employers. And some of them, out of fear or lack of knowledge, they then tend to forfeit these rights, because there is a right in law that says you can be out of work claiming to be sick for 2 days without submitting a sick note. But you then find that these employers are exploiting that. They insist that the employee must produce a sick note, whereas the law says for 2 days consecutively, you can self-medicate. So this is where I come in. And then I then strengthen the people, but of course they need to pay a fee. So predominantly, if I deal with the blue collar worker, it will be pro bono. But if I deal with a white collar, then that's where I start to charge a fee for my consultation.
Oh, good, very good. So there is a difference between law for public service, I mean public servant, and private servant, or is the same? Like here in Angola, we have two laws. We have for private employers and we have for public servants. Is that the same?
Not necessarily, not in South Africa. The law that regulates the labor market is the same in South Africa. It covers across the spectrum, and it's non-discriminatory in its making. So it would not actually say this one covers this. However, when it comes to certain benefits, you will find out that the public sector is not necessarily regulated by the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, because the Basic Conditions of Employment Act says when it comes to annual leave, that for every 17 days that you have worked, you qualify for a day. But when it comes to government automatically gives its employees 30 days per annum. Whereas in the private sector, it will be like 15 days.
Okay. Good. Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Liaz, you got a question for Gladwin?
Yeah, just coming back, you said that the kids, after a certain age in school, they apply for the third language to learn. I was just curious, like, do the parents teach at home, try to preserve the tradition, or this is not very common? How does it happen?
Well, of course, when it comes to, because now remember, when there is something about language. Language is taught or inherited. So when you inherit a language, it is, if you are born in this family, these people are speaking this language, you inherit that language. But then when you go to school, you are taught a certain language, right? So we then decided that when they were born, that our home language will be English, predominantly. Why? The school that they will be attending will be English-speaking school, so we don't want to confuse that. But when they go to high school, grade 8, we then enroll them to their mother tongue, which is now Zulu, because they then now need to understand that there is Zulu, they are Zulus, because you cannot be a Zulu and yet you grow up without having to speak the language. Otherwise, then you are just a Zulu in word and not in culture or in practice. So, but when they are home, they are taught the basic principles of Ubuntu, respect, and everything that has to do with the custom of Zulus?
Yeah, Liaz, that's actually a very interesting question. And like we said in the beginning, our language or this country is quite diverse in its language. And because of the past, where we went through apartheid, and everybody knows about apartheid, there was group segregation and languages, and predominantly people were forced to speak a language which was predominantly Afrikaans. That was the language that was of choice, and that's what. But we've become such a, ever since democracy, we've become such an open country that you find that people are now learning Zulu because it's not out of force. It's out of, I want to understand what the language is about. I want to learn Xhosa. I want to learn Siswati. They want to learn all these languages because it's the corporate world is being such a strong demographic of different people now that to converse, you need to understand the language, and it's becoming a sign of respect out of
Yes,
anybody.
it's great to
Yeah, it's
learn
like
because of the culture. Yes, yes.
big.
Mhm.
If I had to move to Brazil, I will make it my duty to learn Portuguese because it's a sign of respect. You're going to sit there, even if we're going to have meetings in English, I would like to learn to speak Portuguese, no matter how terrible it may be. But at least, it's a show of respect.
Yeah, I agree with you. Great
Absolutely.
explanation. Yes, yes.
And I know Andaliso's dying to ask, or Renato's dying to ask another question.
I'm curious. I was taking a look at the map of South Africa, and I'm curious about two countries that they are in the middle of the country, like Lesotho, and also another one here. It's really, really weird. Let me share again the map. Okay, just a minute. So, in order
It's a
to
bit
move
strange.
from their countries by car, they need to cross South Africa no matter what. Okay, so there is no way to escape from driving across South Africa for those who live in these two countries here. Lesotho and Eswatini is the name. It's correct.
That's correct. So those are two independent states. They are on their own. Eswatini has got their own. I think they're still using a monarchy. So they've got a king.
So is Lesotho.
Lesotho, do they have a president or king in Lesotho?
They have. They've got a royal family. They don't have a king, though.
Yeah, so they've got a royal family. So they are totally independent from South Africa. But in terms of their economical activities, they are highly dependent from South Africa because our government tend to, I would say this, donate to Lesotho, and they've got a social responsibility for the people of Eswatini as well. So when there are conflicts in these states, Eswatini or Lesotho, it is the government of South Africa that mediates. No other government. They go in there, they stop the war, they discuss things.
Do they speak the same language?
No.
No, they speak a totally different language. Lesotho, they speak Sesotho, and then Eswatini, they speak Siswati.
Siswati, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eswatini here, there is a way out other than South Africa territory, like a crossing Mozambique, I think, the way to the sea. Here, let me share some images of this country. Both are countries, all right? They are countries.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, they're independent countries. They operate totally independently.
Absolutely.
You have two Vaticanos inside Africa and South Africa.
Yeah, two Vatican cities. Great comparison, Renato.
But
Yeah.
Renato, the nice part about those two countries, it's for South Africa and African continent, it's such a great escape to go to those countries. It's still very, very, very. Even though there's a bit of a metropolitan and a city, it's a lot of it's rural and still very raw. And because the development is so slow, and the people prefer to keep it that way because that's the way they know. For us to go out there and visit is an absolute highlight because that's where we get to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn will tell you if you ever got to visit. We all talk about Cape Town and all those lovely places in South Africa, but all these little countries in between as well are stunning, even including Zimbabwe, believe it or not. Zimbabwe's, I mean, Joe will tell you he comes from a lovely place, Angola. Angola is actually quite a scenic place. It's actually a very, very pretty place.
Are these small countries, they are vacation destinations for the South Africans? They go there normally? Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're not going to go look for you're going to find all your 5-star resorts and stuff like that. But a lot of people are not looking for that anymore. They want to go out and live in the wilderness and set up a tent and live in a hut, or they want the full experience of the culture. And it's fun. I must admit, it's a lot of fun.
And you require a passport to go to Lesotho or Eswatini. You know, it's not just open. If you're gonna be there for a number of weeks as a visitor, you need to declare up front. You can't just go and stay there. Same applies to them. So they can, but a number of them do sneak into South Africa, crossing the borders illegally, but then they get caught. And that's where we started to see a lot of zamazamas. Zamazamas are the people that were taking over the mines that were left unattended. So they started, you know, to dig the gold and stuff like that, you know, with heavy rifles that they would protect these. Nonetheless, you know, there was a huge mission by the South African police to arrest them. So Operation Vanamkoti, I think Richard knows it. So yeah, some of them, because there are few economic activities in those countries, so they tend to cross over to South Africa illegally, and then they tend to do illegal mining.
Yes, besides the mining, I'm just I'm a bit saddened by Gladwin that he didn't mention the most important thing about the Zulu culture, that all the Zulus come from royalty. All of them come from King Shaka.
Yes.
He was that actually gave us our independence from the British because they fought them off. When they colonized Africa, the Zulus were the first ones to actually stand, and they always said it was the Dutch or the Boers. The Boers could not fight that war without the Zulus. The Zulus were the ones that actually, got rid of the redcoats, as they call them.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Richard, for that. I originally come from Nongoma. So Nongoma is the home to 6 royal palaces of the late King Goodwill Zwelithini, the reigning monarch King Zulu Zwelithini. So it's got a cultural and scenic beauty. Nongoma is surrounded by rolling green hills, rural homesteads, and misty valleys deeply rooted in tradition. It's where isiZulu is not just spoken, but lived through dance, rituals, and respect for elders. Up until today, there is something called a reed dance, where young virgins are tested for their virginity. They need to go there. So elderly women will test them if they are still virgins, and they will be certified that they are still virgins. So if it happens that you're not, then you will be expelled from the area.
Joe, you got one more question there still?
According to the rules and the regulations of driving in South Africa, are tourists allowed to drive for their very first time?
Well, if you've got your own license and it's compatible with the South African license, you are definitely allowed to drive, because we've had so many tourists that came in here similar to the doctor that there was a doctor that was recently hijacked and killed, I think, in 2024. So, however, I would always advise when you get to South Africa, get a tour guide.
Okay.
Get into Uber, be safe. In particular, when you are in Cape Town, because just next to the airport, you've got one of the most dangerous townships, which is Nyanga, and it's just next to the airport. So a number of people, they miss the turn to Cape Town and go through Nyanga, and they get ambushed. So rather stick to a tour guide, call Richard to pick you up from the airport.
So it means it's difficult to drive in South Africa, right?
No, you can drive. But the thing is this, you need to be very familiar with the place. You can drive.
True.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, Joel, you can drive. It's also not very good to rely on Google Maps or the GPS.
Yes.
There was an American not so long ago, sadly, that was relying on his GPS and ended up in one of these townships and was shot.
Yeah.
And because the GPS took him to a shortcut, and it was a shortcut, but it's the wrong place to go.
Yeah.
And we know if I use my GPS, it says me that direction. I'd rather take the long route.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Luis. Take care. Yeah, we're actually running out of time. It's 11 already.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Gladwin, I don't think there's any more questions. I think we must thank you for your time and everybody else for their time tonight and afternoon. It's been actually quite educational, and so I'm glad you've decided to do this for us. And I enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody else did. It was very good.
Thanks, Richard, and thanks to everybody, and thanks for your time and for listening to the
Thank you, guys.
beautiful story of KZN.
It's a pleasure to have you guys. Have a great week.
Thank you so much.
Bye.